Okay, when we're fishing down a pool like this, we want to be dropping the fly in that far channel. There's just a little bit more depth down there, and that's where the fish tend to lie. At this height, this is very thin water just in towards us here, but always worth putting a fly through it before you wade out or before you cast a longer line, because you never know. But generally we expect the fish to be lying right down this deeper channel all the way down, so we'll get the right length of line out, start dropping the fly in there, and we'll just work our way down a pool. And when you're salmon fishing, you want to basically keep moving downstream after each cast. You want to cast out, let it swing round, right around onto the hang, and then a couple of steps and just methodically work your way down a pool. With the water as low as it is, we're actually having to work the fly once it comes into the slacker water. And fishing the tweed at this time of year, catching leaves is always a problem. I'm going to fish through this faster water in the neck of this pool pretty quickly. And I'll probably slow up a little bit as I come to the hot spot, which is just off that grassy bank there and for the 50 yards below it. And it's good to change the angle of the cast a bit as well, put some across squarer, let the fly just get a little bit deeper as it swings round. Now you'll notice I'm actually working the fly quite a bit. That's just because the water's pretty low. There's not as good a flow as we'd like, so we're having to help that fly move around in that current a bit more, especially when it comes round into slack. Just keep it moving. Ideally we'd be putting a fly out, the current would be swinging it all the way around, and you wouldn't be needing to do anything. Just drop the rod and let the salmon take as the fly swings round. But in this water, a bit more work required. The tricky thing about this is, if a salmon takes when you're working the line, if you're a trout fisherman new to salmon fishing, it's going to be really hard not to strike. But you don't want to strike when a salmon takes. If I'm looking after somebody that's new to salmon fishing and they've done a lot of trout fishing, I'll always suggest that they just fish the line off the reel. So as soon as you've cast out, just drop the rod, don't hold the line, let that fly swing round. The salmon takes, it'll take line off the reel and it'll hook itself. If you've got your finger on the line and you're a trout fisherman, your instinct's going to be to strike, and you'll just pull the fly out the salmon's mouth. The other tricky thing about conditions today is because it's low and the salmon are likely to be in that faster water, it's pretty easy to lose a fly, but you've got to risk losing a fly to get it where it wants to be. So this next 50 yards here is usually the most productive part of this pool. There's a good depth, nice flow. In higher water they'll just sit off that faster current and hit the fly as it swings round. In this low water they're likely to be right in that faster water. And this is pretty much the hot spot of the pool, this 50-yard section here. You'll just lie right down here. And if they're in the mood, or you've got fresh fish that have just arrived running upstream, you can have a lot of fun. And I just had a little knock there. Might have just been a leaf hitting it, but might have been a salmon just nosing it.